torrents, but it's not torrent. It's called cloudload.com.
Interesting.
And it's like a paid subscription thing for like space on their own cloud, so you don't get you can't be like tracked or whatever.
Oh, cool.
So you download all the stuff you want to onto their cloud, and then from their cloud, you download the stuff onto your computer if you want to keep it, or you could just watch it on their cloud and then delete it.
And then, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like $30 a month, and I get like 200 gigs a month.
Whoa, that's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I got that, and then I got my Fire Stick,
Hmm.
and that fucking thing is awesome.
Nice.
I have everything at my disposal like for free. But see, like with the downloading stuff, I like to kind of save it so I can watch stuff for later. So like if I want to rewatch something, I guess now it wouldn't matter with the Fire Stick, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the kind of like I don't know if it's an addiction or just kind of a habit now of
Yeah.
having like just doing the downloads and having them on like my own hard drives and stuff.
Yeah,
So I have
I
like
like to keep. I
I
like to
have
keep
the
stuff.
shows forever, but not the DVDs or Blu-rays.
Yeah, I hear you. I have all the Doctor Who episodes. And
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
never get
I
rid
have
of
all
those.
downloaded too, and all the movies.
Yeah.
I have like all of them though, like from when it first started.
Oh yeah, I've got all the classic stuff too.
Yeah, yeah, and as much of the lost footage that
Yeah, as much as that's out there, at least.
yeah, yeah, it's really hard to find because everything. I guess a bunch of shit burned in a fire or whatever.
That is correct.
It's crazy.
And then
All right.
they needed space at the BBC, so they threw some of them out.
Oh God, that's so dumb.
Yeah,
Ah,
I know.
that just isn't that upsetting?
And like the funny thing is, they found like fans had recorded them on like
Oh
VHS.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And
VHS copies.
and that's how they remastered some of them, and that's how some of the stories have been recovered.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's awesome.
Are you recording?
I am.
Oh, good. We should just like throw this stuff at the end. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Sweet. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Super Boob Tube Dudes podcast with your host. That's me, Dante Serecchia, and my other host, partner, buddy from Canada in crime. I guess really he's not really in crime, but you never know. Tyler Hoskins.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, buddy?
It goes.
So it's been 2 or 3 weeks.
It's been two weeks.
Okay,
We've-
okay.
We missed
but
2
we
weeks.
did miss the Pixel Picks of the week the last time we recorded.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's been going on for 2 weeks, man?
Oh,
craziness.
Lots of craziness. We had a death in the family, which is why
Oh, that's
I
terrible.
was unavailable. Things were being done, and I just needed to be where I needed to be, and
All the
could
fans
not
can
could-
blame
yeah.
the dead guy in the family.
Yeah, could not be behind the microphone to do any of the fun stuff. So all
Right.
the podcasts kind of suffered last week on the network, which kind of sucked. But
Well, sometimes it happens, and we can't always cater to everyone. We
Yeah.
gotta, we gotta respect the dead and respect family. So sometimes that gets in the way.
it does. But
But it's needed to be done.
absolutely,
Well, so basically, we've been gone about 2 weeks, and we're kind of getting right back onto it.
yeah, hit the ground running.
Yeah, so what we forgot last week, we were kind of in a hurry, as we are sometimes, and we forgot our Pixel Picks of the Week
We did.
last time. And guys might not remember, what we, I don't know, you may. Fans and listeners may know what we talked about. So we're just going to go into that right now. Are you ready for that?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, well then let's do this. So basically, we got our Pixel Picks. So my best fight for the last was it 2 weeks ago, or would it be the third week ago?
It would be 3
weeks
weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody cares, we're just going to go into it anyway. So my best fight for our Pixel Picks of the week for 3 weeks ago was when the Green Arrow was fighting against Dark and like his wife's mercenaries.
Yeah,
And I know we
I'm
kind of talked about that over the
yeah.
episode. I thought that was my best fight.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, you picked
Yeah,
that one too? Okay. Well, then we'll just go right into the most heroic character.
yeah.
Or did you pick that or not?
I've picked them all.
No, I mean, did you pick that for the best fight? I didn't
Yeah,
mean to
yeah,
like
no, yeah.
preempt you.
I'm in agreement. We
Oh,
picked the
okay,
same
okay,
thing.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I didn't want to be like you agree, but you had a different one, and I don't want to stomp on top of
No, no.
you. So then, for my heroic character, I had Jake Garrick.
Okay. Okay. I have the same
Because
show, but different.
who'd you pick?
Character. I picked Killer Frost.
Well, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
we picked the same episode, so
Yeah, same
but yeah, I
episode,
picked
same show.
yeah
Right?
Jake because using that. I mean, testing how many of velocities to.
Oh, yeah, we got up to 9. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he had like what 2 or 3 of them that he's testing out and experimenting on himself
Yep.
just to spin around and get that the what quantum accelerator or whatever it was spinning.
Yeah.
And my baddest ass villain was Zoom. He was
Okay.
just too
It's just too badass.
bad. Who'd you pick?
I'm going different show. Going with Agent Carter and Whitney Frost.
Oh, you know what?
Because
It's really
my
go ahead.
god, that if you don't remember the episode, it was Agent Carter. She is in the room with the council,
Oh my God, you're right.
and she just annihilates people. And I was sitting there going, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, she's scary.
She's very scary.
And she's supposed to be Madame Mask, is that correct?
And now, see, maybe, but they never say it.
Okay. See, I haven't watched the last episode yet, so we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's really good. But I think for that 3 weeks ago when Zoom was just murdering everybody,
Yeah. For sure.
that it was that he had to be. I mean, she killed a lot of people too, but I mean, we're not going off kills, I guess. but I mean, she was really scary. But Zoom is just he wasn't revealed yet. And we'll get into that, but he wasn't revealed yet, and he's just like, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead." And that episode where he took out, what was his name? Cisco's counterpart.
Reverb.
Yeah, Reverb, and then he took out the Deathstorm, and then I guess Killer Frost and Deathstorm took out. The dad there.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty brutal episode. But then my biggest feel was what was your biggest feel?
The end of the Arrow episode. That was
what happened
when
at the end there when they took the kid?
No, this was when what's his name? What's the black scientist's name? No.
Oh, I could never remember that guy's name. He's such a small character.
Damn it. Anyway, he gave Felicity
really
the
names.
chip.
Mr. Terrific, that character.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he gave her the chip. You thought, oh, okay, all right, that makes sense. That's pretty good.
That
I
got me
went with-
right in the feels.
Yeah, that was pretty good because she was like shocked, like how could this happen? Like,
Yeah.
That was a really good part of the episode. I really dug that, and I know we talked about that the last time. My biggest feel was when Caitlin Snow was basically taking her vengeance on Zoom for Ronnie.
Yeah, okay.
And when she looks at Cisco, and he's like, "Caitlin," it's like, "You saved us," and she's like, "You're right. He killed Ronnie." And she like, oh, I was just like, and she's totally like, she's just smashing all that ice and snow power onto Zoom, and he's just like freezing in that one spot, and she's like, "This is for Ronnie." Oh, I was just like, oh, that's great.
So good.
Because I mean, it wasn't even. I mean, because you kind of have her universe saying that to the Ronnie that she loved, and then you also feel it for the Ronnie that has already passed in the Earth One universe.
Right.
And you're just like, oh, it's like this one is getting revenge on both Ronnies. It felt like, or revenge for both
Right,
Ronnies.
exactly.
Would you pick for the coolest powers and abilities?
I'm going Whitney Frost again because that's
Oh,
just fucking cool
okay,
with
yeah.
the zero matter.
It's such a weird power that
Yeah,
like
it's.
zero matter thing.
I just thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's just like gobbling up everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, where do they go?
Where do they go?
I mean, I guess they're just like deteriorated within the zero matter that
Yeah,
because she spews it out, right?
yes,
And then it just
I
like
have my
dissolves them.
thoughts.
Oh, really? You think it goes someplace?
I have a feeling that they want it to go somewhere. Well,
Oh,
we can get into that later.
you mean like Agents of Shield somewheres?
Yeah,
Okay, oh, that's a good idea.
because
I feel you.
somehow they intertwine.
All right, I read you there. I read you. I'm going with Flash finally being able to phase through that glass cell.
Right. Yeah.
Just I mean with Barry from Earth 2 and giving him that motivational speech and how he's like, I have no powers and I came here and walked on a like cliff of ice to
Yeah.
get here. He's like, you're getting out of here. We're not leaving you.
I'm not
It was
taking no
great.
for an answer, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, right. I really dug that, and I mean, because he's able to phase through stuff. Because Cisco even mentions, but it's like this different vibration in
Yeah.
Earth 2.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, you know what? I'm going through. And it was just all
Let's
this
do it.
willpower that he was able to produce. And then my what the fuck cliffhanger ending was definitely when Jay Garrett gets pulled back into Earth 2 by Zoom.
Yeah, we agree on that one.
Yeah, that one
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was
what? And this is
what?
before Zoom gets revealed. So it's
Yeah.
just
And this
Wow,
my
you're like-
actual what I wrote down was Jay, no.
yeah. Oh man, and then but the worst was seeing Caitlyn's face
Yeah.
just like like her heart ripped out of like her body like again.
Yeah.
And I mean, losing Ronnie twice, and now Jay, after 6-8 months of finally like falling in love again and feeling that passion for a new a new person in her life, and it was just like they don't know if he's alive because I mean, honestly, Zoom's hand could be just phasing through him and pulling him in instead of killing him, but
Yeah.
the way the way Jay's face kind of made that face, it doesn't seem very well for Jay.
No, it does not look well for him at all.
Especially with the episode after when you finally get that reveal after King Shark. It's like just slump. There's a body.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was ours for the what the fuck ending. There wasn't very many cliffhangers. There was just really that one.
Yeah.
And my strongest show was The Flash.
Yeah, same.
And there wasn't any Easter eggs for that week.
Yeah, I don't
think.
remember any Easter eggs. I had that's blank for me, so I
Yeah. I think the only thing we really kind of got was during the week when they were showing, which really isn't Easter eggs when they show promo stuff, but
right.
the future Arrow and everything like that. And so toward the end of the episode, we'll get to our Pixel Picks of the Weeks for the last 2 weeks. And for some of them, I have doubled up for each week. That's just kind of how I did it.
Nice.
But we'll get into that there. So why don't we get into some of the shows?
Sounds
Why
like a
don't you
plan.
go ahead and get into Agent Carter? The last, we'll save the last episode. I didn't get to see the last episode.
Right. Okay.
So,
So there were two last. So not this past week, but the one before. They did another
Right.
two-parter.
Yeah.
So there was. We got a lot of Jarvis back in the day, and then we saw Jack in London trying to get some information on Peggy to see if he could blackmail her into getting her back and getting her off the case and all that. And then just like this is when we find out what Wilkes, who is the scientist that is in love with Peggy, is his dark matter is all about, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then he's kind of also turned to the dark side, the dark matter side, I guess you could say.
He's turned and he's doing what's best for science at this point.
Right.
right?
He's
Like
trying to go the limits, I guess, that he can because what's her name? Veronica or
Whitney
Whitney,
Frost.
I'm sorry, her Whitney. So so Whitney has kind of gotten in under his skin about, figure out who you are and what you can do. And she's like, I can do things too, and maybe we're meant to do things together, kind of thing. But
Right.
then he kind of wants to do his own thing as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's Whitney played to the scientist in him, right? So that was
Right.
so they can get to figure out what's going on because he obviously wants to become solid
That's correct.
forever. So if Whitney can
Yeah,
help him do that,
right. Yeah. She has this other power, I guess, to kind of help him use his power to become, yeah, like you said, solid and
yeah,
I guess human, quote unquote, again.
yeah,
Because he's still kind of like that ghost sort of
yeah.
being.
He's between lands, I guess you could say. He's kind of in
Right. Yeah.
limbo.
He's like a limbo hologram kind
Yeah,
of thing.
pretty
Like
much
he's
something
there,
like
but
that.
he's not. But then he has this power to kind of move things every once in a while, like a ghost can.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird. It's very like elemental and but sciency as well. Hard. It's kind of hard to explain. That honestly, this is my weakest show of the season so far.
I will tell you it ends nicely.
Okay, good. Because I think every other show has been performing a lot higher
Yeah.
than this show, and which is interesting because this is one of the bigger pieces of news, which there very isn't very much news, with what's going on, I guess, on TV right now. And like, I don't want to get into um, promo stuff and things for next episodes. I don't count that as news. That's just stuff that's coming out, and they're talking about the stuff in the next episode. So, but like news, we like to talk about news, say like castings and shows getting another season and stuff like that. And so this one kind of falls into that. So with all this stuff going on, especially with ratings with Agent Carter, and also Haley Atwell getting that new show. Well, you know what that show is called on ABC?
I forget the name of
Like
it.
Covenant or something like that. It starts with a C.
I don't remember.
Anyway, she's basically signed on for another show on ABC. And ABC still, does Agent Carter and Agents of Shield and all that. And I guess the news that we've had last 2 weeks, it's kind of been back and
Conviction.
forth. What?
It's called Conviction.
Conviction. Okay, no, that sounds right. I knew it was a C. So basically, we were like, oh no, she's got a new show, but is she going to do a season 3? Does this mean she can't do a season 3? Then, like a couple of days later or a week later, she came back saying, or the article came back saying that she quoted saying that if ABC was going to, since she's doing this show, if a season 3 was going to happen, they would, they would let her have the time to do a season 3 since it's only such like a short episode or a
Right,
short
it's
season.
so
It's really
short
like
one, yeah.
a third of a real season, especially because it's 10 episodes or maybe even half. Or if they do 8 like they did the first season, it would still be like a third of it of a full
Right,
season
yep.
of a regular TV show. So now that happened, and then just recently, apparently there's an inside source saying that they're seriously considering a season 3, which is very interesting because of all this talk about ratings
Yeah.
with this second season hasn't been so great. And personally, it's a really cool idea. Like the idea of the season is great, and the whole like story is kind of cool.
Right.
But the way they've been playing the episodes out have just been very boring for me personally.
Yeah.
And I really love the character, and I like the new characters. It's just, I guess maybe I'm just not really all into it right now.
I
And maybe
think
that's
if
just
they
my own
do,
personal thing.
yeah, I think if they do a season 3, that
It would be the last one.
It might be the last one.
Yeah, like doing a whole trilogy half
Yeah,
season.
Do one
And-
more and then we go on to
Yeah.
something else.
I think that would probably be best. I think that once I see the last episode here, whether I heard that that it ends where it is a nice ending where it could end, but then it also leaves something where it could continue. That's what I heard. And I mean, you don't have to confirm or deny, Tyler, but I mean, uh, but
Whatever
that,
do
I
you
mean, that's what I
mean?
heard. I heard that people would be satisfied, fans would be satisfied if they ended it, but they would also be really happy if something continued.
Right.
So that's pretty interesting to me. and I'm interested to. I'm gonna watch the last episode here. I probably tonight or tomorrow night. So I like the idea of of a third season. I kind of hope for a third season, even though I'm not the biggest fan of this second season. But I do like the themes and I like the stuff that they're talking about and the characters introducing, especially with all this other stuff. I might go back and rewatch this
Sure.
second season just to kind of go through it. I know I want to watch the first season with my girlfriend. She hasn't watched it yet, so I'll probably be watching the second season again sometime or another. Um, Most likely before a third season, if that ever happens. But it kind of looks like it might happen, so that's kind of cool, and I dig that. Um, so then, what happened toward the last bit of like the last episode? Not the last episode, but the last of the two episodes that happened the first week that we were off.
Well, Jack is playing like multiple sides, and he's trying to do what's best for Jack at the moment.
Mhm.
So he's playing everybody against each other, and
That's right.
we end the
Jack is
episode
the
with the bomb and whatnot. And
Jack is the blonde haired guy who used to work with the SSR, but he's kind of like turned. Is that right?
yes, and
Right.
yeah, in this part of the episode, like in this the second part of that episode, we don't really know who he's working for. You're
Right.
not sure. You think he's working for the SSR with Peggy and uh, Sousa.
Right. He's kind of like a double agent at this point.
Yeah, and if at that point, I think he's more of a triple agent.
Oh wow. Okay.
'Cause
Well, I guess you're right because I mean he was
he's playing for himself, and then he's playing Whitney Frost against what's his name? Damn it.
well Wilkes.
No, well, he's playing Peggy against Frost.
Oh, the
against,
other guy,
Vernon.
Right. The guy from '70s show.
Yes, so
Right.
Vernon Masters. So he's playing Whitney against Vernon, and then Peggy's in there somewhere with Sousa. And
See, I really like those two episodes. I'm just my
the
mind
one
is so much more focused on the other shows. I think that's why I just
one,
can't
yeah,
remember.
the one thing that was very very strange to me was
Huh.
the beginning of the second episode, which was a musical number. It was because at the end of the first episode, Peggy gets knocked out.
Oh, that's right. She's
And
dreaming though.
and it's a dream sequence. I understand it's a dream
Yeah.
sequence, but what the fuck?
I mean, I think just because of the time and the way that I know I agree with you in some way, but I mean that's kind of what things happened then. I mean, in the I guess in the time, so maybe it's just something in her head.
Throughout the
that-
entire series, you haven't seen anything like that. There's been nothing.
I suppose.
There's been the old diners and whatever, which was cool. Like the whole sequence was fine until the musicals thing happened. I'm sitting there going, "This is just so out of place." Like it was a song and dance, and I'm like, "What?" It was very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, "What's going on here?" Like when it first started too, but then it kind of made me chuckle. But it also brought me in because I was like, "Wait, what's happening?" And then see that like for me, someone who hasn't been like really deep into the show, it kind of made me want to watch because after that I was like, wait, it can't be this. And then when she woke up, I was like, oh whoa, she's really having a crazy dream because all this craziness is kind of messing with her head. So I think like, and also she's been injured for the longest time. Remember how hurt she was?
Yeah.
So I think maybe painkillers and this
Maybe.
all this other stuff. I think it was just kind of like a culmination of just thoughts and like the culture and her, I guess because she's, I don't know, maybe it sounds so cheesy, but she's so positive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the weirdest thing that could happen in her head right now. And then she wakes up and she's like, whoa, and then kind of gets into the story. I don't know. It is kind of weird, but that's kind of like the times that they're in, the cheesiness and
Fair
stuff.
enough.
So it kind of fits a little bit, especially with the music they chose.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but I gotta watch that last episode. I think I might have to watch the last like 10 or 15 minutes of the one before it too, just to kind of make sure I'm in the right spot.
The last episode, the beginning of the last episode is like the last 5 minutes of it. So
Oh yeah, the kind of recap.
you'll be fine.
Oh, okay, cool. So what shows had 2 episodes for the last 2 weeks, and what shows had just the one?
So Flash and Arrow just had the one.
So same as Supergirl, right? Or did we get
Supergirl had two. We had
sure?
we had Master the Jailer from Krypton.
That's right.
And then the following episode was Indigo.
We didn't talk about Master Jailer?
We did not.
Oh wow, goodness gracious. Okay. So yeah, the only episodes that had one episode was Flash and Arrow?
Yes. Oh, and
Okay.
Gotham last week premiered.
Oh, well,
back.
because Gotham just premiered, yeah, last Monday. So let's go ahead and do the 2 shows, and then we'll get into the singles.
Done.
So why don't we go with Arrow first, starting with the A. So the first episode was I honestly can't remember the one before the Vixen episode.
Well, we just had the one Arrow episode.
Oh, there was only one Arrow. Oh, I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
okay, so we'll go with the 2s. Sorry.
No
So
worries.
let's do Lucifer.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and do the first one, the first week, and then I'll kind of get into the second week.
Right. So I mean, so for me, the first
That
one,
episode wasn't that great.
it was very dull.
It was good,
Like,
but
it was
wasn't
good, but it was like, okay, really? I don't know. It was weird. It was very strange.
What
So,
was the story, real quick?
to be totally honest, I'm trying to remember what it was.
So am I. That's why I asked you.
Like,
it was very very procedural. Nothing really crazy happened. It
oh
wasn't
right.
the
So
one.
it was the girl who gets shot at the fashion show,
That's right.
and it was the guy, the artist was setting himself up to like set somebody else up to get money and all that jazz and throw this guy back in jail. That was the show, and it was like, I found it didn't
that
have
was the one
anything.
with the black guy who he was being framed, or was that the week before?
No, this is the framed one. It's
Okay,
but
good.
it's
Yeah,
it's
that
a
one was
couple Asian
very
guys.
lackluster.
It was just like, I'm sitting there going, there's nothing to me. It didn't help Chloe or Lucifer's story any.
Right. There was
know?
the only thing that kind of made me remember it. Now that I remember it now, when he that was the one where he got shot. Right, she shot him.
Yes.
And he was they were showing more of his mortal side a little bit, but it was
Yeah.
very, very teasing. And it was just like, here's an episode, but we're going to do this little tiny part that really means a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then with the next episode,
This was exciting.
yes, because we had this apparently this crime happened, and
Yeah, we had a
something
very
was
boring
stolen.
robbery.
Yeah,
And
he
he didn't give a
but then, like,
shit. and just-
Lucifer's this gift from God or whatever
yeah.
was stolen from Lucifer, so he has to get in on the case. So it was really good because he wasn't involved and he didn't really care. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm involved and I better care now. So he's like, we
Right,
need to
quite.
team up. And then she finally accepts him, right?
Yeah.
She finally accepts him as a
A partner.
consultant with the department.
Yep.
And it kind of, I mean, what, 6 episodes later, it's finally kind of, now they're kind of grooving together, as a team. And I like to see that because I kind of like their characters, and I like her ex-husband character.
Yeah, he's funny.
And what was he in? He's been in a couple things, but he's older now, but he's been in a lot of other things. I can't remember. He has a very distinctive face, and I can't remember what other movies or shows. he's
You
been
will
in.
remember him as Sebastian Blood from Arrow.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There was like
That
what,
was-
season 2?
Yes. So he was Brother Blood, Sebastian Blood.
That's right.
He was in True Blood for a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Southland.
Oh, so see, I never watched Southend. I heard that was great though.
He was a cop in that. He was in Weeds
Oh, that's where I remember him from. That's exact. I remember him from Arrow, but I remember him before that in Weeds. I remember
There you go.
he has that weird. I don't know. I don't want to say weird, but he has that face. Like
Yeah,
you
he's got a
totally
very
recognize
distinct
him.
face.
Yeah. So no, I like his character, being the ex-husband and their dynamic with the daughter, and then him not liking Lucifer and
Yeah, and I liked
Lucifer with the
in
daughter.
this one how Chloe calls him up and says, "I need you to look into Lucifer," and he's like, "Yeah, finally."
Right, right. He's kind of very excited to kind of get at Lucifer, so he gets her away or
Yeah,
gets him away from his ex and the
exactly.
daughter and
Yeah,
everything, even though they're still not together. And I really like I what I really care about and I really like about this show, which makes it more real than some of the other shows. They don't just fight all the time. Like
right.
the
Yeah,
husband and wife, they don't just fight and beat each other down and do that stupid stereotypical we're broken up and
I
this
have
and
to
that.
hate you.
They work together. They're cops. So the way they interact as a couple, non-couple, it him her and what is her name? I can never remember her name.
The cop,
Yeah,
Chloe,
Chloe, and then her ex-husband.
Dan.
They work together as cause they're the cops first,
Yeah,
which really makes the show a lot more real to me than some of these other shows, and I really like to see that. It makes the show a lot more enjoyable to watch because they're doing what comes first and what needs to be done rather than their own personal bullshit.
yeah,
And there's a lot about this show that just it makes me really like it because they just do stuff so differently on this show. Certain little tiny aspects like that, they make it different from other shows, and that's what I like about this show. And it keeps me going because it's just different enough to
yeah,
keep me invested in
yeah.
in what's going
I
on,
hear you.
especially with the Lucifer stuff because he's funny and he's ridiculous, but he's like completely honest and it's so weird
Yeah.
how different
Well, he wasn't
all the
completely
characters.
honest in the episode.
Oh yeah,
He
I
said
mean
he did tell her what was in it in the container. He
that's
said they
right.
were Russian dolls, but he didn't say the entire truth.
Right. There were other things
There
in
were
there.
other things in there.
But yeah, then they show his wings
Oh,
and you're
so
just
good.
like, what? I thought that was I totally knew it was his wings because a couple episodes when they showed the scars
Yeah,
and she was gonna touch him, and he got pissed off. He's like, "Don't touch those. Don't touch my
yeah,
scars." And when they said what was it, or when they were like something's in the box, I was like, "It's got to be his wings. It's
yeah,
got to be a gift from God. It's got to be his wings. Like, what would God give Lucifer? You
yeah,
know."
exactly.
It's very interesting. So good stuff. They're finally getting into that angel demon and not really demon, but biblical sort of lore with the character, and then also with the other angel. What's that other angel name? I can't remember his name. It's such a weird name.
Amandel?
And oh, right, her when him and Maz get together, and he's trying to like, you need to help me get him back to hell, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. It's
And then when he goes to see the therapist, and
those
like,
are so
he's
funny.
it's good. It's interesting how Lucifer doesn't know that the angel is with the therapist as well.
Yeah.
I like how she's keeping that secret, the very like the confidentiality kind of thing. It's interesting. So that's Lucifer. Last 2 weeks. Last episode was better than the week before.
I think the last episode has been my favorite so far.
I honestly agree too. It keeps getting better and better. There's some off episodes, but it's definitely getting better.
I'm really excited for next week. Well, I guess tonight's because
Oh, that's right. Yeah, tonight.
I saw the
Yeah.
promo.
You know what? I don't remember seeing the promo at all. So I've been kind of busy the last couple days.
All I'll say is someone is auctioning off his wings.
Oh, you know what? I do remember seeing it one time. Usually I see promos a few times, but I remember it, and he's like really pissed off, huh?
Yeah, real pissed off. It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be good. I'm excited for this show. It makes me want to watch this show first now rather than like third or fourth sometimes.
Yeah.
And because it's it's comic booky, but it's not superhero-y. So when you're like, oh, there's the fourth superhero show I gotta watch this week, which is cool, but you're like, it's four superheroes. I need a break between to kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
get
for
me
sure.
out of that mindset. So this one it's a good one to do that. And same with like The Walking Dead and stuff, but I want to watch that show right away.
Yeah,
So then after that, we have Agent Carter, Lucifer. Let's do Supergirl.
I like it. Let's do it. The so we
Um,
got the Master Jailer in the first one.
yes, that's right.
Uh,
And I thought that was a really cool episode. Kind of the same thing with Lucifer. Like this episode was a little bit less than the Indigo episode,
yeah, I mean,
but
like this was still a great episode. Like it's
right.
a former guard
Hmm.
of the prison that fell, and he's just going after everybody that escaped and
Well, he's
cutting
like
their
yeah,
heads
he's like the
off.
Punisher, and he's like the executioner.
Yeah, and this is where we get introduced to the son of Krypton, the Red Son of Krypton.
Oh, right. She's inside that jail cell.
Yeah,
That's right. He captures her with those chains or whatever,
yeah,
and then the Red Sun and throws her into that prison.
yep.
And who is it that was able to get her out?
Alex got her out. So what Alex did when they found them,
She shot the roof out,
she
right?
shot the roof out, and the sun,
Right.
Earth's sun, came in, and that's how she got her strength back and got out. Now, there's one thing in the fight scene, right before Jailer and Supergirl fight. She says, "I thought masks were only big in that other city."
Right.
So now I don't know what that other city is going to be, right? Like I don't know whether she's commenting on Gotham and Batman,
Mhm.
or is she going with Star City because there's a whole bunch of masks there,
That's true. A lot
or
more than in Central City.
right. So is like
So,
this I think
well,
this is
this is
just
interesting.
screwing with us right now
Well, yeah,
because
but this is the thing because we know that the world's finest episode is world apostrophe S finest. So that means multiple worlds, right?
yeah, there's
Or
no
no,
no
wait.
there's no
Or is it
apostrophe.
no apostrophe? Sorry, no apostrophe. So
Oh,
it kind of insinuates that like multiple worlds. So it's different universes.
yeah.
But with this, I mean, not that it matters. It still could mean her own universe has other heroes in it.
Oh, for sure.
But
But it's still a
it still sounds like that she's talking about, there are other heroes in her world. It could be the same world as Flash and Arrow in that same universe, or it could be a totally different one.
yeah. I'm
Um,
excited. I don't know.
right. Well, because remember in the Flash episode, he goes through the tunnel or
Yeah.
the time portal, and he sees the Legion ring, which she sees inside the Fortress of Solitude.
Exactly.
So there are pieces, and then also, well, I guess that doesn't matter. But I mean, there's also those little pieces that are maybe some are from one specific Earth, and then some are from, the Arrow and Flash and Legends specific Earth. So
Yeah, it's
we
gonna be
don't
interesting.
know. I guess we're just gonna have to wait a couple more weeks to figure that out. But
Yeah, we gotta wait till March 28th.
oh man,
It's 3 weeks away.
jeez,
I
is it
know.
really 3 weeks away?
3 weeks
Shoot, it
away.
is.
It's the 7th today, and we got the
Yeah.
14th to 21st, which is when it comes back.
Wow.
So
God, it feels like those 2 weeks that we didn't do the show
we didn't miss
didn't
much.
even happen. No, I mean it feels like it felt like that it was 3 weeks away the last time we recorded.
I know.
It's so weird. Yeah. So then after that episode, we had Indigo,
We had Indigo,
which was the Smallville Supergirl playing a villain in this episode.
which was really cool.
Very, very cool. Was there Emily Van Camp? No, Emily Van Camp is what am I thinking of? That's the chick from Revenge, and she was also in Captain America: Winter Soldier. What is
Laura Vanderhoot.
Vanderhoot? There we go.
Vandervoot?
I don't know why I had the V, the Van Camp, Vanderhoot. I had that all mixed up. Anyway, she came back, I guess, to the Superman world as Indigo, who is really Brainiac 8, which is an awesome callback. So apparently in Supergirl's universe, there has been multiple Brainiacs, and I mean, it kind of insinuates that there's been a Brainiac that has, fought against Superman. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, because we'd have, I mean, Brainiac 5 is the good Brainiac, and I think all the other ones have been bad. So, I mean, that's just my comic knowledge, I suppose. But I know Brainiac 5 was good. I think he was part of the Legion at one point, but you never really figure out who the other ones really are.
Right.
They're just Brainiacs. But I like this. I like how they go back to Krypton. They go back to like the program that, Brainiac is, and like she just wants to destroy everything. She just wants to. I mean, but this one's different. It's not like I want all the knowledge. This is one that's just I'm gonna kill everybody you care about. She's more human, but still very like robotic. And I loved how like she did all that. The CG was great in this episode too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When she was all
awesome.
digitizing down into cubes and everything, and coming through like
so
phone
cool.
lines and like the computer screens. I was like, what? How's she doing that? She's choking out that kid through the computer screen.
Yep.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was.
That was great.
I thought it was great.
And he does that virus on her, and it's just some like random virus that she's never seen or heard of before. We're just like, it's such a minuscule virus. I thought that was pretty great. But yeah, she's trying to like launch a nuke at National City.
Yep.
And that was pretty cool. I mean, it kind of, I was talking to Tyler earlier, folks, about how like I love this idea for the character, but this is an episode that shouldn't have been a filler episode. This is an episode that should have been at least 2 or even 3 and 3 arc sort of like, this is Brainiac. And I mean, not to give too much, not to go too deep into it, but I mean, like, have like a to be continued style story with this Brainiac. She was too cool and too bad to just be a single episode. It was like this could have been a movie grade villain, and they only used her up. I mean, even though at the end they kind of give away that she could come back.
Right, and I think she will.
I think she will too, and I like that idea, but it wasn't enough. She wasn't bad enough. I mean, it was too, twirly mustache bad guy. I got a nuke and I'm gonna blow everybody up, And I think that they could have stretched the character out a bit and done a longer episode with Indigo. I thought that would have been really cool. And maybe even gotten some some backstory with some other Brainiac stuff, or even like got a Superman cameo in. I mean, not that they say that they need Superman in the show, but I mean, or even a text like they've been doing, the text or messaging they've been doing with Brainiac, like, you fought Brainiac before, what do I do, kind of thing,
Right, yep.
It would kind of been cool to kind of call back to Clark and that side of the universe if they're able to. I mean, I don't know how much they're able to do other than the texting or messaging, but I mean, they did show him slightly in the pilot, so they could use a little bit, but it would have been cool to have a little bit of a coaching against this is a big level villain. I mean, Indigo, maybe Indigo is not the biggest level villain in the comics or anything, but she's still a Brainiac counterpart of some sort. So it would have been interesting to see that kind of dynamic with like, hero and villain and everything like that. It ended too fast for me is all I have to say about it.
Fair
I
enough.
guess.
Fair enough.
A couple episodes that have been really cool. However, I really like that episode, and I'm excited to see what's going on this week. I honestly don't even know what are the promos talking about this week.
For Supergirl?
Yeah,
I don't
like tonight. I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, tonight. I don't think I watched the promo for this one, but I will bring up the episode notes for tonight's episode.
I remember something they were talking about for next week.
You know what? There is no episode tonight.
What?
Nothing.
Really?
March 14th coming back. So there's no episode tonight.
Come on. Okay, so I guess they took a week off after everyone else took a week off.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, that's that. So, what do we got? Let's do the Flash now.
Sure.
And then we'll finish off with Arrow and then do our Pixel picks.
Right on.
Oh well, we still have Legends of Tomorrow too.
All right, let's
Did they do two episodes or one?
two. Let's do the whole CW
Let's do
universe
it.
right now.
Let's do it. That's a good idea. Let's just throw them all in there.
CW universe. We got the one we didn't talk about. I don't think we talked about was Star City in 2046.
Right. Well, we did not talk about that. They go to the future.
Yeah.
And they're like, where is this place and what's going on? They meet Connor Hawk, who is really Diggle's son.
Which I thought was a cool callback.
It is. I was listening to the Comic Vine podcast, and they always have that guy. He always has such gripes with stupid stuff. It pisses me off. But he's like, oh, and those other guys, they're like a little younger than us.
Sure.
The other guys on the podcast, it's like Matt and Corey, and then the host of the podcast. And I don't know why they have. It's weird. I like the show a lot, but they have such different views, like we do sometimes. But sometimes they annoy me. So they're talking about how like, oh, it's kind of stupid how they just made him Connor Hawk because that's not really who Connor Hawk is. They just kind of threw the name on top of Diggle's son. And I mean, it makes sense for the TV universe. Nothing has to be exactly the same as the comics.
Yeah,
just like the movies.
Exactly. You've got so many different rewrites and universes in the comic books universe stuff. But like the TV is going to have, especially in DC now, we've got
so many different things.
We've got clearly the TV is its own universe, and the movies are their own universe. So why not play around with the characters a little bit? Especially
also, I mean, they don't even take into account that there are so many different universes. Maybe this is a different universe Connor Hawk for you. Why does Earth 1 Connor Hawk have to be the Connor Hawk from the comics?
Exactly.
Why can't the Connor Hawk that you've read in the comics be in Earth 3 or 5 or Earth 10 or whatever?
Or
you know what
X.
I mean? Yeah, he could be anything. So it bugs me when these guys I don't know, they talk about it.
Yeah, there's some of these people, like, they're purists, right? So
yeah, I mean, and that's totally cool. And I mean, they're really cool with other things too. And I mean, it's not that like they're like always purists, but I mean, and I like, my the stuff to be like the comics and stuff too. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But when you're like, maybe because Connor Hawk is the son of Oliver Queen in the future, right. So he doesn't have to be the son of Oliver Queen in Earth 1. I mean, Oliver Queen in Earth 1 doesn't have to be the definitive Oliver Queen just because he's the only one on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was still kind of cool. I like the idea that they called back to the Flash vision that he had through the time tunnel.
Right.
And that was the black green arrow that he saw when he went, one of the cool things we saw when he was going through the time, portal going to Earth 2. And we got to see him in a different show, which was Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then he ended up helping everyone. And then they found old Ollie, who they thought was dead.
Nice beard and goatee on him.
Which was the worst part of the episode for me. The fakest looking thing. And,
it was.
The fact that they gave him short hair did not play well with me. They didn't give him long hair.
Yeah.
Give him a long beard, not a trimmed weird beard and bad. I mean, out of all the money they spend on the show.
Yeah, it should have looked like he's been living there for years.
Yeah, it was like. You're going to have a nice, clean, flat top with a weird beard in this. I mean, really, who's cutting your hair, Ollie, in this post-apocalyptic?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, seriously. It was just that was the only thing that kind of threw me out. But it was cool. He had no arm, like, the Dark Knight Returns Ollie, and he had that awesome metal arm toward the end, kind of like Winter Soldier, which was pretty cool.
Yep.
And he kicked ass. That was one of my favorite fight scenes when he was on that bus or on that train, just whooping everyone's ass.
Yep, for sure.
Great episode. It was kind of like nothing was really happening except you had Rory, Heat Wave, kind of making his own gang up, which was kind of cool. I really like to see him and Captain Cold kind of separating a bit.
Well, it comes in the next episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then next episode, and they both go head to head. It's been kind of hairy for them too, especially since the last time. I was gonna call him Killer Frost.
Captain
Captain
Cold.
Cold punched him out, and when he knocked him out, he's like, "Don't ever hit me again." And then ever since then, it's been kind of separating for them.
Yep.
Like, and it really does. Those sides are chosen when those pirates take over the ship. Um,
Which was
it,
awesome.
Yeah, well, the pirates take over both their ship and the other Time Master ship, correct?
Well, they take over the other Time Master ship first, and they
They,
uh, answer a distress
they
call,
answer a distress call, but then they get taken
and
over
they get
too.
taken over. And then there's this big fight scene,
And Rory is
and
like, you know what? I'm going to be on their team because they're
yeah,
going to take me home.
and he gets knocked out. And then the episode ends with Cold and Heatwave somewhere in time.
Whoa, really? Did I fall asleep or something? I don't remember
Right
the
at
end.
right at the end of the episode, because they've knocked Heatwave out again.
Right.
And the next scene is Heatwave waking up. Cold is there, and Heatwave says, "Well, only one of us is leaving here alive."
Oh my God! I honestly, I tried to watch the episode twice. I knew I fell asleep the first time.
Yeah, so like
And not because it's a bad show. It's just I'm just a tired guy. So then I know I watched it toward the end because I remember the end when they were talking about how they're in the 50s, but I don't remember that end scene when they're like, you know, this is where we are,
yeah,
where they are. So they're separated from the group.
yes,
Oh my God, I need to watch that.
they're on
ending
they're
over
on
again.
they're on. I'm guessing they're on Earth somewhere.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. They're like in the middle of a forest.
Oh, okay. Well, crap.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
pretty epic.
that was a really good episode, though. I really dug it. The whole space pirate thing, and then you had, the Atom outside the ship and like trying to repair it, but then getting like almost lost in space before his ship takes him back or his suit takes him back to the ship. That was pretty cool. That was pretty intense. And then
Yeah,
the kiss with Hawk Girl and everything. Um, and then also that tease in one of these other promos that like Hawkman might be coming back.
yeah.
That was pretty cool. Let's go into Flash. So,
Let's do it.
Flash
Fucking
is
King Shark, man.
yeah, King Shark Man. He's like the Hulk with freaking sharp teeth that can swim.
Fucking insane.
The Water Hulk with teeth. He's massive. So, well, actually, that wasn't that was the first one, right?
That was the only one we missed.
Oh, because there's only been one
There's
episode.
only been the one episode.
So yeah, so right after the whole Jay Garrick gets like, pulled back to Earth 2, we got King Shark. Basically everyone's all down because they think that Jay Garrick's dead and Caitlin is just down because she lost the love of her, new love of her life. And then Cisco thinks that she's going to turn Killer Frost because he met Killer Frost in season 2 in Earth 2. And I really like that the story between her and him, when he was like freaking out that she might become Killer Frost because of all this pain she's had.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. It made perfect sense.
Yeah. And at the end of the episode, she just fucks with him. So good.
Oh yeah, that was so much fun. I love that.
That was awesome.
They have such a great relationship, those two.
Yeah.
And you could tell it's a lot deeper than the one they have with Barry.
Oh, for sure.
And I really liked it because it feels a lot more real than just like, oh, we're all cast members and this and that. But yeah, so Barry is trying to have this relationship with Wally, and Wally's getting pissed off because Barry's in a weird place right now emotionally.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know how to feel because Wally thinks that, Barry's this top shit or whatever, and the family loves him, and they treat him like the golden child kind of thing. But it's not really. It's just something's going on, with Barry, and he can't really tell Wally. Wally's the only guy in the family that doesn't know he's the Flash. So, then we got King Shark is escaped from Argus, and Diggle didn't know. And Diggle's wife is like, yeah, we have King Shark, and he's been here even though you guys thought he was dead.
Yeah.
So King Shark escapes, starts eating guys left and right, and he's like, gotta kill the Flash. And that's pretty much it. So they try and capture him. And I love that he's like, let's see how fast you are in water. And King Shark is like super fast in water, even though he's a massive beast.
Yeah, so
I thought that was so much fun.
So good. I love that episode.
And some of the best CG. Like, that was all nearly movie grade CG for King Shark. He looked amazing in that episode. So that's the Flash. Toward the end, then, oh my God! Right after they took out King Shark, goes right back to Earth 2, right where the episode before left off. Zoom just flops friggin' the Flash, or what's his name, Jay Garrick's body on the floor, and he's like, this is going to be a problem. And he pulls his mask off, and it's another Jay Garrick. You're like, what the hell?
Oh, what?
And I mean, my theory is it's either Jay Garrick from Earth 1, who is really, what is the name he gave himself? He changed his name because he got adopted. Hunter Zolomon.
Yep.
It's either Hunter Zolomon in disguise, or it's an Earth 3. I have two. It's either Hunter Zolomon for Earth 1,
or just a different Earth.
No, this is one you didn't think of. I didn't really think of today. I heard on another podcast, and it totally makes sense. But it's either Earth 3 or Earth whatever number, Jay Garrick, or it's Earth 1, Hunter Zolomon from the future.
Ew.
Or I'm sorry. It's either Earth 1 Hunter Zolomon pretending to be Hunter Zolomon, but he's really Zoom. It's either a Earth 3 Jay Garrick, or whatever the name he has in Earth 3, or it's an Earth 2 future version of Jay Garrick.
Interesting.
So the Earth 2, who is the Flash, Jay Garrick, in the same timeline that we just saw get pulled to Earth 2 back to his own home, could be his future self that is in the same universe.
Right.
So the Jay Garrick that we know is from Future 2 that's been living in Earth 1 that has fallen in love with Killer Frost, could this Zoom be the future version of that guy? That's a cool question. And especially with all this frickin' velocity crap getting pumped into him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean,
true.
It could be a factor. So it's just like he maybe he's addicted. Oh, I think I might have just solved it. Maybe he's addicted to all of this velocity 6 to velocity 9, velocity 10, velocity 12. And now he's like, I need more speed, going after Barry from the future to get more speed.
Yeah,
maybe he's addicted to this velocity stuff and all this. And
it would that would make sense to why he said, well, that puts a twist in things.
Well, yeah, because now
he's killed himself.
Well, I mean, now his younger self might know if he wakes up, if he's not dead.
Yeah.
So, and also he can't kill himself. That's why it's a wrench in his damn plan. He can't kill his younger self if he's got to grow up older, grow more years older to become the Zoom that he is now. So maybe that's a glitch in his plan.
Oh.
Isn't that a good idea?
Mind blown right now.
It makes sense though, right?
Yep.
Because if he was from a different Earth, he wouldn't give a shit.
Yep, I'm with you.
So
like it.
That's really cool. Now to Arrow, we had Vixen come in, who is the same voice actress who did the Vixen cartoon on CW Seed for Vixen. She came to act as Vixen, and I was unbelievably surprised that they took out Damien Dark so fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going to be in the show a lot longer, and it was just like, there's this totem, and this was gives us power, and we're going to stop it, and crash, and it was just done. I was like, what? It's like, I thought he had at least 4 or 5 more episodes in him with like a bigger fight.
Yeah.
And they took him out so fast. Vixen was like the damn secret, like the missing link or whatever.
Why didn't you call her sooner?
Right? It's like, oh, I need your help because this is the episode you have to kill him or,
Right. So
stop him.
yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. So, like, she's got the totem that she can use other powers from the other animals she can call on. And she's like this gorilla. She's all super strong, or she's like a hawk, or some kind of bird to fly. And they really did her character well. And I love how they integrated this new hero into the universe of Arrow. It's just so cool. So they put someone new into the series, and it's not as dark as no pun intended, as the show has been for so long. They brought something fun in, like the Flash, and like they'll be doing with other crossovers and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. Um, the show has been really great. We have Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. They're all three in sync right now. They're just doing such a great job with making these characters enjoyable and engaging, and everyone's just so different. And you're really building this universe just up like greater than some of any other TV has done. Especially that, I mean, you have three shows on CW that are all connected, and now maybe Supergirl in some way. It's ridiculous how we have. I mean, you don't have any other TV shows out there like that, except like these. Chicago Code, and Chicago Blue, and Chicago Fire. Like that's the only thing that's really connecting, other than this superhero stuff. And that kind of copied it from what CW and like the movies have been doing. They're spinning off of other shows and connecting, but I think this is the most connected that these shows could ever be. And for that, I'm really thankful. I'm excited, and it's just so much fun. So that was Arrow. And so now we had kind of a technical difficulty here. I think we just lost our partner here, Tyler. I think his internet just crashed. So I'm going to go into my Pixel picks of the last 2 weeks right now, and he'll add his later. So right now, I think my best fight for the last 2 weeks, I think, was when Green Arrow and the gang were fighting Dark's wife's mercenaries. Or you know what? No, I think that was from the week before. So, sorry about that, guys. My greatest fight, I think, for the last 2 weeks, if I think real quick, I think it's going to be, it's going to be the gang in Legends of Tomorrow, fighting off against the pirates. That was a great fight. I really like that guy who is the head pirate. He's been in lots of good shows and TVs. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but when they're fighting them, and then you had Heat Wave and Captain Cold kind of go against each other real quick. That was some good stuff. Really great fight. Small fight, sure, but when Rory, I keep thinking he's part of Doctor Who still. When Rip Hunter is fighting against that lead pirate guy, great fight scene. They're whooping each other's ass. And for my most heroic character, for the first week, it's going to be Vixen. And the latest week, it's going to be Supergirl. I choose Vixen because she was just a great character, very new, and she saved the day by taking out Dark, especially with the knowledge she had of the totems and the power, the items of power that are in the universe that Dark was able to use one to channel his great storytelling, and she was able to take him out with her abilities and with her knowledge. And I thought that was great. She's such a fun character, really good addition to the series and the universe. And then Supergirl, for her heroics, against Indigo, saving everyone, taking her out, taking Indigo down so she didn't destroy the damn city, national city with that nuclear bomb. Um, you know, fighting against that knowledge that this Indigo person has, against her and Clark and everything that is Brainiac, basically all the knowledge that is Brainiac. She just didn't give a shit. You're gonna destroy my city. I'm gonna fuck you up. Um, for my baddest ass villain, I'm going with the first of the 2 weeks, King Shark, because he was just freaking the Hulk with teeth, man. The water Hulk with teeth. And he was awesome. He looked so good. He didn't say much because he's, damn talking shark, but he looked great, and he was a lot of fun during that week. And another show we didn't get to talk to was Gotham. Or we didn't get to talk to. We didn't get to talk about. Tyler and I didn't get to talk about that, but I'll talk about it right now. So we have Gotham was great. They're introducing Mr. Freeze. They're introducing him young. He's got a wife. His wife Nora is sick somehow, or with some kind of disease. They really don't get into, but she has some kind of disease. She's taken a shit ton of pills for, and he loves her dearly, but there are these people who are being frozen. Jim Gordon and his partner are they're trying to figure out why they're finding these frozen bodies everywhere. They're just dying, and they're on this case, but it's Mr. Freeze, or they call him Fries. I guess his name is Fries right now, Victor Fries, and he's a scientist and our biologist or cryo, some kind of geneticist of some sort, and he's trying to save his wife. Obviously, they're taking that whole the Batman animated series storyline and turning it into the show, and it's just working fantastically. Probably the best, one of, if not the best episodes of the series so far. Not a lick of Bruce Wayne or Alfred in this episode. Not that that's a bad thing, or a good thing. It was just very interesting to see that they weren't in the episode. Because I like the Bruce Wayne stuff right now, and the Alfred stuff. It's good stuff. However, it was all about Mr. Freeze. Excuse me. And it was great. He's trying to figure out how to put his wife in cryo so he can figure out how to save her while she still has the time, or while he still has the time to save her. But the thing is, he can't bring anybody back from being frozen. And that's his problem. He has these formulas he's been trying, and every time everyone just turns to jelly. Like, they defrost and they just turn to mush and jelly, and they're just dead, skin, blood, bones. It's just nasty. So it's like trying to freeze a strawberry and then defrosting it, and it just turns to mush. That's exactly what happens to a human body. So he can't figure it out, but then he tries a new one on a new guy as he's trying to rob the pharmacist to get a refill for his wife's pills, and the guy goes. They take his frozen body, and they take his frozen body, and he's in the morgue part or wherever part of the precinct, and then he wakes up. And he defrosts and he wakes up, and Mr. Freeze is in there because he confessed, and he's trying to do right by the world and by his wife, and he confesses, and he sees the guy walk out in a sheet, and the guy's like, what happened to me? And he's all defrosted, and he's like, it worked. Mr. Freeze he's like, it worked. And he gets out of there. He bolts. And he has his formula, and I think it kind of ends sort of that way, with them trying to go after him, whatever. I honestly can't remember the ending of the episode, but basically he knows the formula of his worked, and he's gonna try and use it on his wife, so he can save her, or so he can try and attempt to save her or cure her disease while she's in cryo, because he knows now he can wake her up and defrost her. Awesome episode. Definitely my best villain of this latest week. And I cannot wait to see more of Mr. Freeze. I'm so glad it wasn't just one episode. And he's an awesome new character. And he'll be on again tonight. Tonight is Monday. He'll be on again tonight on Gotham. We got and my biggest feel of the week. I think of both weeks, I'm just gonna go with it's either the first of the 2 weeks, it's gonna be Felicity calling the wedding off from Oliver, calling the wedding off, giving him his ring back, then walking out like, whoa, she totally took that chip in her back and now she can walk, from Mr. Terrific and that character. Really great stuff. And then I guess from the newest week of the for my biggest feel is going to be the Mr. Freeze and his wife. Like, he is doing these terrible things to save his wife, and it's sad. Just like the animated series, it's sad. It's a tragic story for this character. It's Paul Dini. He wrote this story, and he made this idea. He wrote this idea for this character that had only been just a silly, ice villain for Batman, and gave him a humanity and gave him a story, and I love it. It's one of my favorite. He is my favorite Batman villain because he has this story, and he's not just a villain for villain's sake. And for to be a bad guy, he has this reason to do what he's doing, whether it's to get money to try and raise to figure out how to save his wife or keep his wife alive or anything like that. But just that idea that he's a man trying to save his wife, but he can't. And he needs to keep her frozen, and he needs to do everything he can to keep her alive, is awesome. I think he's such a great villain, and he has a great motive, and he's coming out to be a cool new villain on Gotham. Real quick here, my coolest use of powers and abilities. It's going to be Indigo from the latest week, and then Vixen from the week before, or I guess. Yeah, from the latest week and the week before. So Vixen was awesome. We talked about her already. She was just really cool. Used her powers. They did a great job of portraying that and showing how she used her powers. And Indigo was really cool. Finally, a Brainiac. Excuse me, a Brainiac type villain. Very scary. Too bad it was just short-lived. Hopefully she'll come back, kind of look like she was. Most what the fuck cliffhanger and ending. Zoom's reveal, definitely from 2 weeks ago. We already talked about that a lot, but Jay Garrick, which one, from where, what timeline, we have no idea. Maybe a future Earth 2 Jay Garrick. And then the latest week, or I guess the same week, since we didn't have really a cliffhanger for the latest weeks, but Felicity walks. She got that chip implanted in her spine. That was pretty cool. Right after giving that ring back to Ollie and saying, "Hey, no way, Jose, I'm not going to marry you. You keep lying to me and keeping secrets, and I'm walking out," literally. Gets up off that wheelchair and takes off. Then my strongest overall show for the last 2 weeks, firstly, will be Legends for that 2046 episode, with old Ollie with no arm and everything, and bad makeup and hair. And then this week would be, last week would be Gotham. Amazing Gotham episode. We just talked about that. Great Mr. Freeze stuff. Loved it. And Easter egg, I guess you can. I guess the Connor Hawk's a pretty good Easter egg, even though it's not a son of Ollie, but a son of Diggle. That was kind of cool. Good call back, or would that be a call forward for the future episode? And then Indigo, being that she's Brainiac 8, very cool. Brainiac is in the lore and in the TV show now in some way, and she is number 8. So that is the Pixel Picks of the week for me, Dante, and I'm pretty sure that Tyler will get his in soon. And if you guys want to contact us, give us any feedback, we're on all the social medias. We're on YouTube at Boob Tube Dudes, and we are on Instagram as well. Slowly but surely, we're posting things here and there. We're both in charge of that stuff, so we've been kind of busy and everything, but I try to get some things up there when I can. At Super Boob Tube Dudes on Instagram and on Facebook. We're Super Boob Tube Dudes online. Check out our website. It's all connected, just like the Marvel and DC. Well, I guess the DC universe isn't. I guess maybe it is connected, but just like they say about the Marvel universe, it's all connected. We're at superboobtubedudes.com, and you can email us or write us at podcasts at superboobtubedudes.com. And we are also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, website. I think that's about it for now. So if you guys just want to shoot us an email, tell us how we're doing, talk to us. We're on Stitcher, we're on iTunes, we're on Pocket Casts. That's how I listen to my podcast. I just like that. I have a regular, I guess you want to say I have an LG G4 Android phone. I've never owned an iPhone before, so I don't deal with the iTunes because it's the worst program that they probably have. It's just so terrible. Excuse me. So feel free to do that, and also we're kind of behind, us two, Tyler and I are kind of behind on ratings, but we do a rating system, and please rate us, or not rate us, but we do the rating system for the shows. It's like a little dial. It's on the website. You can go to ratings. You can rate each show, and then towards the end of the season, or once the seasons are all ended, we will go through and talk about them on the show and see where we averaged out on the ratings for each show. Please be a part of us. Be a part of the podcast. Join us and rate each episode. Rate all the shows, or there are also shows that we don't talk about on there, like stuff that's off the air, such as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which will be back this week, I think tomorrow or Wednesday. Then we Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and that stuff will be up there to rate. We also have iZombie. I know Tyler and I both don't watch that, but I know a lot of you guys do out there. Please feel free to rate those shows. Tyler does all of the the technical internet coding type of stuff, side stuff. So if something is not up there that you want us to rate, like I know we have X-Files up there, and I know that's not a comic book show, even though they have a comic of it, but it's not a superhero show. It's still up there. We love the show. We're going to put it on there. We don't just do comic book shows. We don't just do superhero shows. We are Super Boob Tube Dudes. So this is TV shows that's on the boob tube, even though there's no tubes and TVs anymore. We just have a cool name like that. So go ahead and if you want us to rate a show, if you want to rate a show, we'll figure it out. We'll try and put it on there. We'll discuss it on the show, and we'll get it on there. Like, I'm loving 11/22/63 right now. I love it. It's only an 8-episode series, but it's on episode 4 tonight. I'm gonna watch it. It's awesome. I would love to rate that show. Maybe we'll put it on there. I love Second Chance. It's almost a damn superhero show. I love that show so much. The guy has like these super strength powers. He's a perfect version of his younger self. It's so cool. I also like Stan Lee's Lucky Man. Not a superhero show, kind of. He has the power of luck. It's created by Stan Lee. That's superhero enough for me. I think we should put that on there too. Walking Dead's on there. We're gonna have what was it, Before the Walking Dead? Fear the Walking Dead. That one's coming back soon too. There's so many other shows. Please watch the TV, listen to the podcast, tell us how we're doing. Love it, don't love it. give us all the feedback you want. We'll we'll check into it and we'll discuss it on the show and see how we can change the show to your liking and figure it out from there. So you already got the social media stuff. You know how to find us. I'm at Dante on the Twit. That's DanteOnthetWit on Twitter. Check me out there. I'm on Facebook. My full name, Dante M. Serecchia. And you can find my name on the website, superboobtubedudes.com. And Olo Tyler Hoskin, he is on the website as well. And you can check us out. And Twitter, sboobtubedudes.com. That's the only one we couldn't get the super in, so it's just the S before. So check us out. Love you guys. And I really appreciate everybody listening, and I'm sure Tyler does too, and he'll be in there as well probably before I say all this stuff to give his Pixel Picks of the Weeks, and hopefully he can get his internet back up for next week. So this has been, I think it's been channel number 6 or channel number 5. Tyler will get that right. I think it's channel 5 of Super Boob Tube Dudes, and keep on boobing. Or tubing, boobers. Keep on tubing, guys. All right, have a good one. Bye.